So we're going to start applying the law of conservation of matter to chemical equations. And I have a chemical equation here which says CO2 plus H2O produces C6H12O6, otherwise known as glucose, plus O2, which is oxygen gas. You may recognize this as photosynthesis, what plants do. However, if you look at this, I have one carbon in the reactants and I have 6 carbons in the products. That can't happen. We can't produce 6 carbons from 1 carbon. That violates the law of conservation of mass. So I have to balance this. And to balance it, I'm going to say that I need 6 CO2s. So if I have 6 carbon dioxide molecules, that's a total of 6 carbon atoms in the reactants, and that agrees with my 6 carbon atoms in the products. So I'm not violating the law of conservation of mass. I'm not creating something from nothing. Now the other thing to look at here is H2O. I have 2 hydrogen atoms in that water molecule, but over here there's 12 hydrogen atoms. That can't work. So I'm going to put a 6 here as well. Now I've got a total of 6 hydrogens in the reactants. I'm sorry, I have a total of 12 hydrogens in the reactants, right? 12 times 2. And I have a total of 12 hydrogens in the products. So this is the process of balancing the equation. Just kind of look for what's not balanced and increase or change the number of molecules so that it balances out. There's no hard and fast rules for this. You just work with it until it comes out and works. All right, so if I look at this now, I've got 6 carbons in the reactants, 6 carbons in the products, 12 hydrogens, 12 hydrogens. Now let's look at the oxygens. So 6 CO2 molecules is a total of 12 oxygens. 6 H2Os is a total of 6 oxygens. All right, so in the reactants, I have a total of 18 oxygen atoms. And if I look over here, I've got 6 oxygen atoms in this glucose molecule, and O2 adds 2 more. So I've got a total of 8 oxygens in the products. I need a total of 18. So this is what I'm going to do. If I put a 6 in front of the O2, now in the products I've got 6 oxygens in this molecule, and 6 O2s gives me 6 plus 12. So I have 18 oxygens on both sides now. This is now the balanced equation. And this is probably the equation for photosynthesis that you're more used to seeing. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O produces 1 glucose plus 6 O2. So by the way, if I could put a 1 here to say that there's 1 molecule, or I could leave it blank. Either way is fine. All right, and just for practice, let's take a look at another one. I have calcium hydroxide plus hydrogen monochloride produces calcium chloride plus water. All right, now because calcium has a positive 2 charge, right, this is CaCl2. Because hydrogen has a positive 1 charge, this is just HCl. So you can see right away there's 2 chlorines in the products, but there's only 1 chlorine in the reactants. So I'm going to put a 2 here. All right. Now let's take a look at the other ones. I have 1 calcium in the reactants, 1 in the products. That's okay. 2 OHs. So that's a total of 2 oxygens in the reactants. Over in the products, H2O, that's only 1 oxygen. So I'm going to see what happens if I put a 2 here. All right, so now 2 H2O molecules, I have 2 oxygens and 4 hydrogens. Let's come over back to the reactants. 2 HCl's, that's 2 hydrogens. 2 more hydrogens here is a total of 4. So I think this is balanced. Let's just go through this one more time. 1 calcium, 1 calcium, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens, 2 plus 2, 4 hydrogens in the reactants, 4 hydrogens in the products, 2 chlorines, 2 chlorines. This is a balanced reaction. And I can put 1s here or I can leave them blank.